You need to stop going for frags in Overwatch, and here's why. Everyone's first FPS game was likely something akin to Call of Duty, Battlefield, or even Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare if you were an absolute Chad. Of course, there were some objective game modes, but when a player picks up the controller and is given a gun for the first time, the real objective for them is to eliminate the bad guys. Simple. Well, as time and tastes have developed and we've shifted into an industry where games need to truly push the limit of competitive creativity, more objectives have been introduced to players. Be the last person standing, defuse the bomb, or in Overwatch's case, capture the point, push the payload, and escort the big robot home. It is clear that the way we played games 10 years ago is nowhere near the way we should play now, but a lot of people are still stuck in the 2000s mindset. So why did so many of you that don't usually watch my content click on this video then? Probably because racking up the elims in your favorite FPS games is still what your brain associates with the main objective, when in reality, the most important thing you have to do is something much larger in comparison. So let's fix that misconception and get you back to winning and overall having just a lot more fun with your game. Almost everyone is aware of how terrible it feels to play into a pharmacy at lower elos. It seems as though your DPS never shoot her out of the sky and she is constantly blasting your team with damage. The only solution to win is to just have a better DPS that can kill her every fight, right? Well, wrong. Let's understand it from the Pharah's perspective. For those unaware, Pharah has a jetpack that propels her into the air, allowing her to hover for some time before depleting and needing to be recharged on the ground. By itself, it doesn't really get her very high or give any significant sightline advantages. This is where her rocket jump ability comes quite handy. On a 10-second cooldown, it propels her extremely high, allowing her to poke the enemy from an advantageous position. But what does all this mean? When Pharah takes damage from way up high through a hit scan or other means, realistically her next step is to find cover, either in the immediate vicinity in the sky or dropping down to the ground. Even when a Mercy consistently heals her, enough damage will force her out to play safe to avoid death, depleting her precious jetpack resources and ultimately making it a lot harder for her to frag your team. What is key to understand here is the concept of pressure and using it to your advantage to take key targets out of the fight for a window of time, allowing you to take opportunity of an advantage. If we look back to the Ana in this clip, through allocating just 1 to 2 shots to the Pharah, it forced her to drop down, immediately depleting her uptime. In this moment, while the Pharah is not actually dead, she is effectively dead for the duration of time it takes for her to get her rocket jump back online to get into the air again. While 7 seconds does not sound like a lot of time, in modern day gaming, that is often the difference between a win and a loss. By breaking the shields off of a player in a battle royale game, you can do the same thing. They have to fall back in order to keep themselves alive, allowing for you and your team to push in aggressively. The same goes for if you knock someone down too in an FPS game. Just because they aren't completely dead doesn't mean you haven't produced the state of them producing significantly less value to the engagement. In other words, instead of putting yourself in a vulnerable situation to finish off the last kill that's unnecessary, you should use this as an opportunity to pursue your advantage and take down the rest of the enemy that is still actively participating in the fight. I'm sure you have all heard of Awkward at this point, either through his controversial takes on Twitter or through his unranked to GM content. He is constantly telling you to do damage in all of his VODs. However, the act of you doing damage is not just about getting kills. It's much deeper than that, and he expects you to understand that. The idea is to pressure out the enemy in a way that creates advantageous situations for your team. To just do damage is to let your team die in the process of their mistakes, but to just do healing is to let your team throw your game away while you could be doing a lot more to carry. In every game that you play, you have to understand the bigger picture and not throw your life away for picks either. Getting a frag in a video game effectively causes one thing. It takes a player out of the immediate fight or round that is taking place. However, it is important to understand that this state of pressure against the enemy can be caused in varying magnitudes for varying durations, depending on what you can accomplish. By boosting your understanding of this concept, you will find that each engagement you take, no matter the title you are playing, will feel much easier for you to carry your team harder. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe to my channel and check out my Twitch every Friday for free VODs with the community. But until next time, I've got to peace out and pass out. I'll see you in the next one.